I'm Cape Joel, and this is Comic Smack, your weekly, daily, all-the-time, anytime comic book show where I give you your fix of everything you need to know from the world of comic books and superheroes. And on today's show, Steve Rogers is forced to combat new problems and old foes in the pages of Captain America number 696. What'll happen next? Well, let's hop on in together and find out. Alrighty then, so as we rejoin the comic, Steve is still traveling cross-country on his motorcycle on his big apology tour. Only it's not really a big apology tour because no one actually mentions the Secret Empire, and in fact everyone is super happy to meet Captain America everywhere he goes. Yeah, it seems like the only person who's still being punished for the events of Secret Empire is Sam over in his book, but hey, I'm getting off topic now. There is actually more of a reason as to why Steve is tooling around America right now. Basically because S.H.I.E.L.D. fell apart, he no longer has anyone subsidizing his living. He wants to find somewhere quiet to live, somewhere new, somewhere away from the hustle and bustle of the city. This town is nice and everything, but even for a small town, it's still pretty big. Everyone knows him, he's a local celebrity, and he wouldn't be able to get a moment's peace if he tried. Caps ended up coming to this town at a very interesting time because supervillain the Swordsmaster has trained his eyes on this small place for some reason. In fact, Swordsmaster pretty much jumps to the conclusion that if Captain America is here right now, it must be because he already knows what evil, dastardly deed he's going to try and perpetrate. It's because of this the sword-themed supervillain takes over the airwaves, because when you're a supervillain in comic books, it's just that easy to do so. He calls Cap out, and obviously Cap can't turn down a challenge. Now, as we soon discover, this isn't the original swordsman Jacques who had trained Hawkeye Clint Barton. Oh no, this is some new guy who's taken up the costume and the identity. This guy isn't playing a high-risk cosplay either, because he comes packing a sword made of pure adamantium, something that can actually deflect Cap's shield. What was his plan? Well, apparently he was going throughout the Heartland threatening to blow up dams and getting a ransom from the town to not do so. Captain America manages to defeat Swordsman by, well, knocking the sword out of his hand, proving that if you're going to be a Marvel comic bad guy, maybe you should have more than one weapon-based gimmick under your belt. And hey, in a nice little bit of irony there, Cap manages to stop the dam from exploding by plugging up a valve with the adamantium sword. And with that, the day in the town is saved. Captain America has made a few more friends, and he's ready to roll on out. Looking for America's finest diners, drive-ins, and you know what, I'm joking, but only half joking. He did spend a good chunk of this issue at a diner. So that was Captain America 696, everybody, and overall it continues to be very pleasant. Mark Waid definitely has an eye for and a way with Americana. And it would be one thing if he just spent the whole book basking in that, yet 2 issues in, we're actually starting to see kind of an interesting trend form, and that is Steve Rogers wants to get in touch with the Heartland, wants to get in touch with Middle America, because he believes there's some sort of idealistic purity there that will grant him solace, only as we found out, as nice as these small towns might look on the surface, they have a much darker, more supervillainy underbelly most times. So, you know, maybe the country and the city aren't so different after all. Overall, I would give this one another well-deserved 8 out of 10. It's a good time. So that was Captain America, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, want to check out some of these other videos I have available for my channel. Then you can follow me on social media at CapeJoel, so you're always up to date on what I'm doing next. And hey, if you're feeling in a supportive mood, I have a link to my Patreon page down in the description. Patrons get exclusive access to videos and content before anyone else, and they can do so for as little as $1 a month. It would be much appreciated, and until next time, this has been Cape Joel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all again later. Bye-bye.